Dan Heng's 5-star finally got leaked, and it's the biggest kit I've ever seen. I figured I should talk about his kit, explain exactly what's going on. Anyways, full name is Dan Heng IBM 5100 Imbibita Lune. There you go, got it. Dan Heng Imbibita Lune. And let's talk about his abilities. Let's get into it. Keep in mind, everything I'm telling you right now is going to be at level 1. So level 1 basic attack deals imaginary damage equal to 50% of attack to a single target. Pretty normal. Basic attack 2, also known as instant brilliance, deals imaginary damage 3 times equal to 130% of attack to a single target, consumes a skill point. Pretty similar to exactly what his 4-star does. Now, this is where it starts to get a bit interesting. Basic attack 3, also known as Heavenly Shadow Arrow, deals imaginary damage 2 times equal to 60% of attack to a single target, as well as damage equal to 30% of adjacent targets. He starts to become an AoE sort of damage dealer. On top of the AoE damage, his basic attack 3 will also trigger a effect called Roar, which buffs crit damage by 6%. This can be stacked up to 4 times, and this buff will last for 2 turns. But Heavenly Shadow Arrow will consume 2 skill points upon use, so it's a bit expensive. Then we get to the creme de la creme, the basic attack 4, Anna Radiance Leap. It does everything that Heavenly Shadow Arrow does with the individual attack and the AoE attack, except instead of a 30% of attack to adjacent enemies, it is now 60% instead of the before 30%. But this does cost 3 skill points. He seems to be a insanely expensive unit in terms of skill points. You're always going to be running out. But they did think of that and take that into account. I'll get into that later. For now, let's talk about his skill, Unrestrained. So the way you cycle through these attacks and the 4 different variants of them is through his skill. Each press of his skill will cycle through the different attacks, and the points are only going to be consumed once you choose your desired attack. So it's pretty much lets you select the attack you want to use. It's not necessarily a skill in and of itself, if that makes sense. But his ultimate is where it gets interesting. His ultimate is called Cleansing of the World, deals imaginary damage equal to 180% of attack to a single target and 84% of attack to adjacent enemies. Level 1, by the way. After using his ultimate, Dan will receive 2 reverse scales. What's a reverse scale? Okay, so a reverse scale essentially is a skill point, but they're only reserved to Dan Heng and him alone. When you use his ultimate, he will automatically receive 2. It's kind of a way to circumvent the constant depletion of skill points with these reverse scales. Keep in mind though, it does cap out at 3, so it's best to use, let's say, basic attack 3 Heavenly Shadow Arrow to put them back down to 0 for when next time you use the ultimate. And obviously, consuming reverse scales is like consuming skill points. That makes sense, I think. This guy looks insane. He can do everything. He can do solo DPS. He can do AoE. He is kind of an all-around attacker, but the only question is how often you can use those attacks, because he's constantly just eating skill points. If you run energy recharge, maybe you can keep using skill points and ultimates more often, but we'll have to see. If you did like the video, I usually never ask for this, but I'm gonna because this video took a decent while. If you could follow, that'd be great, as well as if you want to join and be a part of the community that we have over on Twitch, there is a link in my bio, as well as if you don't even want to watch live streams, just go to that link and join the Discord. The Discord is a great place for everyone who loves Honkai, and you will always learn a few good things. Anyway, I don't want to take any more time out of your day. I can't believe how insane they made